And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you all had a lovely break. Hope you were able to get some snacks, get some food, take a break here, and now be ready for what comes next for our next series of the night for Team Vitality versus Shopify Rebellion here in World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Codes Round 4, day number 2. The final series of the night. It's going to be a best of 7 between these two amazing teams. These are two of the heavier hitters in the league, by the way. Both Team Vitality and Shopify Rebellion, they are some of the best that we have to offer. They are actually number 1 and number 2 respectively. Fun fact, neither Team Vitality or Shopify have taken a loss. Neither team has gone down, has taken a loss here at all so far in this season of World Team League. And we'll see who will have that kind of blemish on their record, who will go on undefeated, and who will bow down here to their opposing team. Oh boy. As we have a look at the lineups, we have Ryung versus ByuN, we have Solar versus Scarlett, followed by Maru versus Harstem. I mean, coming into this, I do have to favor the star power of Team Vitality. You know, they've got Solar and Maru, some of the best Zerg and Terran players in the world. They have Ryung, who is a TVT sniper, who happens to be in a TVT as well, which is ideal for Ryung, going up against Shopify. Now, to be fair, to give credit where credit is due, Shopify Rebellion, their team is very preparation-based. They have spoken about this in the past. They had an interview last season in World Team League in the playoffs, and they spoke about how, unlike some of these other teams, Shopify, they do focus a lot here on their upcoming matches in WTL. They put a lot of thoughts, they put a lot of practice, and a lot of preparation into these games and into these matches, and that does help them quite a bit here when it comes to this format, just because you know your opponent ahead of time, so you have time to prepare for your opponent, to prepare for the map, to prepare for the matchup as well. So that is going to be another bit of an X factor here, especially with a lot of these other Koreans maybe focusing on GSL these past couple of weeks, focusing on GSL, traveling to Stars War 11. Maru, of course, coming back as a new champion. Big shout out to Maru, by the way. He is the Stars War 11 champion as of less than a week ago. And likewise, some of these others, of course, were traveling as well. So we'll see. We shall see how this series does play out. Also, I believe someone in the chat was talking about how a lot of players are traveling and are currently in Canada, question mark. There are a lot of the Shopify players that are getting ready for Dallas. DreamHack Dallas is in a week. Less than a week's time. We're gonna be having a big major offline event in the Americas, in Texas. So be ready for that. Big events coming on the horizon here. It's great to see another offline event. I mean, we just had Stars War 11, but Stars War 11 was a little bit more exclusive. You know, we had the smaller qualifiers leading into a weekend event. DreamHack Dallas, I'm sure, is going to be a blast. And yeah, if you're out there, if you happen to be in the Americas, consider heading over and, you know, having a weekend out and head over to Texas, to Dallas. I'm sure it's going to be a great time meeting with everyone there at the event. But here we go, we're diving in, and then spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have for Ghost River, Ryung. And in the top right, we have his opponent for Shopify Rebellion, we have ByuN. Oh my god, that is a crisp cam. Of course, Ryung for Team Vitality. If you're in the chat, predictions are about to close. Place your bets. Get your predictions going. You have a couple of seconds. Look at ByuN from the Shopify HQ. Yes, yes. ByuN and I believe the other players are currently practicing boot camping at the Shopify HQ. Do love to see it. Very clean setup he has going on there. As ByuN, where are we going, by the way? We sent our first SCV across the map. We do have a Rax back at home alongside our Gas Geyser, and it is going to be a 2 Rax Reaper opener out of ByuN. Meanwhile, we see Ryung opening up double gas. Should be for a faster factory. So this is going to be a very interesting dynamic here, where ByuN, of course, he has micro like no other. He's going to be able to abuse his Reaper control early on. Ryung will have, of course, the defender's advantage. He will have a faster factory for Helium production, and Willie Scott, he will not. He does not come across the proxy. He's not aware. Not going to be ready for this. And there's going to be a small window where ByuN can get a lot done and try to snowball out of control. You may be thinking, oh, but it's only one proxied Rax. Yes, but we're on Ghost River. The rush distance by ground on this map is very short, so it doesn't take too long at all for the initial Rax to reinforce across the map either. this can still hit quite hard. Here we go. Meanwhile, we do go for our SCV scout. Ryung, he confirms that the Rax is back at home, so everything is looking as it should. Everything is looking normal. ByuN keeping his build hidden. Reaper moves out, and Ryung has to be careful here. He has to react very quickly. So there's going to be that small window where ByuN has the Reaper advantage. Ryung will pull back. Does race back to his main. Hasn't lost anything yet. Now he has eyes. Now he does see the Reapers. He does react in time. Does pull away. And he can pull the boys as well. We do have SCVs to spare. Well, one SCV goes down. Factory does finish. Second Reaper arrives. ByuN does dive on it. But clutch control there from Ryung, as he will hold. Whew, okay. That was a very tense moment there. But Ryung did react. He was able to preserve his Reapers. Did lose one SCV, but only one worker. And here comes the Hellion. And now with the help of the Hellion, we're perfectly safe and sound. I mean, I say that. This Reaper can is still quite threatening. And if Ryung isn't too careful, then ByuN can snowball out of control. Oof, as we don't go for the chase. ByuN dips in, no one loses anything. And now we're expanding. We have ByuN going for a CC on location, Ryung going for his command center on the high ground in his main. He's in his main. We can see that ByuN is still committing to Reaper production just to contain his opponent before transitioning back at home. And if Ryung does try to move out too soon, then he could end up bleeding out some of these units, whether it's a Hellion, whether it's a Cyclone. That's going to be the ideal for ByuN. We do see Ryung actually working towards very fast tank production. Cutting Cyclones, fast tank instead. A more defensive composition here from Ryung. Reapers, they try to dip in. Oh, getting some hits off on that depot. They're not getting much more than that. So Ryung will force back that Rax. And we'll finally expand. Expansion's been delayed, but now we have the tank on the high ground. We should be safe and sound. There we go. Tank volley goes off, and ByuN has to back off. Now, the big advantage that Ryung has is his tank count. As he's already got one, working on his second. ByuN is going to be behind in that tank count overall. He does have the slightly better economy, with his base mining slightly faster as well. So my eyes are really on Ryung at the moment to see if he does move out on two bases and if he commits to an all-in, or if we try to stabilize and get into a longer game. Was the Reapers, they head into the main. Ryung out of position, and SCVs are going to be going down. Brutal pickoffs. Two SCVs go down on Mule as well. It's going to be a one-way trip for the medevac as the Viking is going ham. Oh! And the medevac does go down. At the same time, Ryung dropping, but we have a tank in position. The drop doesn't achieve much. So good pickoff there by ByuN. He may have lost some Reapers, but the Reapers, they kind of get outscaled as the game goes on. They run out of their usefulness, so getting a couple of SCVs here or there is worth it. For our Red Terran. As the Reapers dip in, they're going for another SCV. They're looking for one, they get two, they get three. Oh my god. 4 SCVs go down. We're gonna get a 5th towards the end. Very nicely done here by ByuN. Meanwhile, Ryung is committed, moving out with everything he has. He's on 3 tanks. Oh my god, we get a 7th SCV. Calm down. And Ryung, he needs to get damage done. Scans, he does confirm the tank positioning. Knows he cannot push into the natural, but he can try to slip into the main. Third CC is on the way. You can see Ryung pushing forward, setting up. Oh, not quite within range of the Marines. But he will catch the Cyclones. Not bad. Does get 2 Cyclones for free. Scan reveals the army. Ryung rotating around, bearing in mind that Ryung does not have a third. He hasn't started his third base yet. Threatens to drop into the main. Vikings are trying to keep up. And can we deny Stim? Are we within range? Not quite. Oh, tank volley's going to be going off. We shut down one of the Vikings as well. And we should force a cancel on the third base. It was about to finish. It was about to complete. It looks like it will barely finish in the end. And it survives. No shot. The Rax goes down, but the CC does live. Oh, the repairs. Okay, we have a repair. We're good. We do repair in time. A big win there for ByuN. Saves the command center. He's up a base. And there's no way for Ryung to really kill ByuN anytime soon here. ByuN isn't being broken. We are doubling down on Viking production though. I believe Ryung is up in the Viking count. We have to retreat though. We have to pull back. Oh, and I was curious if we are going to throw down more factories. Ryung is committed to mech. It's going to be mech from our blue Terran player. You know, ByuN going for bio tank instead. Catches a Viking. Oh, and I'm not too sure about this for Ryung here. Going to be bleeding out almost every single Viking. It does lose a lot of his air control. That was not the fight to take. Vikings go down. Like, it's a really difficult position because Ryung has to stay here. The reason why he's still siege outside the base is because he's trying to delay the third. He knows that the third base is done and he cannot just allow ByuN to get it up and running without any resistance. So his goal here is to delay for as long as he can while minimizing his losses. It's a very fine line to walk, to cross. You can see Ryung just reinforcing as much as he can, rallying everything across the map. ByuN moving out, is spotted. Oof. Once again, ByuN flexing his air control. Ryung, he has to respond. Oof. Does take some tank shields to the face. But we'll get back home and finally ByuN can expand. You can see on the mini-map. Expansion is on the way. Ryung making 3 Vikings at a time. We've got a 3rd starport in production. We have a fusion core as well. I believe that should be for battle cruisers. That should be for BC production from Ryung. Can he get there? Vikings dipping in. I believe ByuN still has the Viking lead. Yeah, Ryung has to give up ground. Has to pull back. And do we go for the dive? Do we just land on these tanks? It's tempting. It's so tempting. We don't go for it. We back up. Yeah, lines have been drawn. Fusion core about to finish. As I mentioned before, going mech here does typically lead into BC production. We'll see if that's the case. ByuN setting up a counterattack with his Marines. Ryung still holding on. Does have a slight economic advantage because he was able to get his third base up and running a little bit faster. But that third is exposed and ByuN is coming in for that dive into the mineral line. He does have stim. He's going for it. He stims in. Boys have to be pulled away. So you get 3 SCVs. That could have been so much worse. When the 3 workers go down, good reaction out of Ryung. There's that first battle cruiser. BCs are on the way. The problem here is that it takes time. It takes a while here to build up that BC count. So Ryung is vulnerable and he's stuck at home. Yeah, now ByuN, he has the map control. He can freely expand. Takes his 3rd, takes his 4th. ByuN looking to take the entire map. Once again, bullying back those Vikings. Oh my god, we're going for a deep dive, by the way. We're pushing in. And with our land, we shut down 2 of those tanks. We're pushing up the ramp as well. ByuN is going for the kill. Yeah, Vikings are going to get annihilated. Ryung has to land. Marines, oh, bit of miscontrol there to ByuN. Bleeds out his Marines. And suddenly Ryung is going to be able to hold on. Marines, they try to come in from behind, but there's barely any of them. And here comes the BC. It has been revealed. ByuN's tanks are cleaned up. The Vikings are cleaned up. And Ryung holds. Impressive. He was down like 30 supply there. 20 to 30 supply. Did barely hold. ByuN is still up in workers. He can afford some of these losses. He can rebuild. The problem here is that ByuN, sure, he can remax and rebuild his bio army, but replacing those tanks and Vikings, that is not easy. Again, ByuN is going for a more mobile composition as opposed to the more robust composition of Ryung. We have Maru on the way. Making 2 battle cruisers at a time. More tanks. ByuN to make up for losing all those Vikings. He's throwing down 2 more starports. I believe that's going to be 4 starports in total for ByuN. As TVT quickly turns from tank versus tank to Viking versus Viking. I mean, it's been mainly about the Vikings this game. It's all about the air control. Whoever controls the air controls the TVT. ByuN trying to sneak out with this double drop. Headed for that southern base. Tanks are in position. The BC count getting higher. But oh god, as whew, okay, we can. As we're settling into our 4-base setup, our clean feed was struggling a little bit, but we're okay. We are okay. As we've hit that point where we had almost non-stop aggression throughout most of this game, but now we're calming things down, we're taking our 4 bases. You can see that ByuN, he was trying to find like an exposed base or some exposed tanks, but Ryung has been quite secure. So we're going to be having more of a kind of a passive moment here in this game where both players are taking their halves of the map, maxing out. Now ByuN is going to be the first to max out, as he has a cheaper army. The question becomes, can he do anything with that army? I mean, he's looking for those BCs, and the Vikings, they will come across them. Ryung is going to be forced to teleport. Does he react in time? The BCs! Up! We can't afford to lose them! Oh, we go for the Yamato. We bleed out 1 battle cruiser. That was a rough decision there for Ryung. The Yamato did confirm a kill on 1 BC. So, a good catch from ByuN. I have yet to misspeak when it comes to saying their names, but I can feel it. It's happening. It's gonna happen soon. Like saying Ryung and ByuN over and over again, it's getting to me. Not gonna, I can feel it. Ay, ay, ay. It got really bad when I was casting, for those that were here for it, when I was casting Bunny versus ByuN, at one point I kept just saying ByuNy. I just, over and over again. I couldn't handle it. It all just melded together. But here we go. ByuN rotates over towards the 3rd base. Catches a couple of tanks. Oh, not too sure if we want to commit though into those BCs. Big Volley's going to be going off, and we do pick up a lot of the Vikings. We catch another battle cruiser. We're down to 1. Down to 1 battle cruiser here. We cannot commit, and ByuN, he's winning the fight in the sky. As he takes down another BC. We have 2 more coming in to reinforce just in time. Yamato going off. Oof. And we're down to 4 Vikings. We're down to 3 Vikings. The BC up. Can we get it? We can. 1 more battle cruiser goes down, and ByuN, it looks like he's barely snowballing out of control, winning the fight in the sky. Takes down every Viking. We're down to 1 battle cruiser. And now the ground army can push forward, gain more ground. We get within range of the CC. Ryung, he's up against. I did it. Ryung is up against the wall. Ah, I almost made it. CC goes down. Ryung looking uncomfortable there on cams. I mean, he knows recovering from here is not going to be easy. ByuN joie. ByuN even. As at this point, ByuN is just camping the production. He's just camping the air, going past the turrets. Once again, taking it to the Vikings here of Ryung. Desperate teleporter across the map. Oof. Yeah, as we can just land in the main, we just camp the production. And ByuN is just going to be able to fly over the army. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even care. So let's respect those tanks. The VC is getting some work done, but there's only so much it can do. 6, 7 SCVs go down. Oh, it was a bit of a trap. Ryung, can he catch these Vikings? The surround. Show us the Vikings. Nah, you can't. ByuN still comes out on top. Ryung now forced to make Thors, but at this point it might just be too late. I do like the Thor option here from Ryung, but we're going for the factories. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and ByuN will take game number. What? There we go. ByuN will take game number 1. Even the production team got confused. But who won? What? The Korean Terran? Aye, GG. Well played, ByuN. So it's just catching up, and here we go. We're diving into game 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Core. We have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the bottom left, we have ByuN for Shopify. Brianji. Oh god. Oh no. The amalgamation of Terran. ByuN versus ByuN. Ah. Did somebody say like I just saw there's a ByuN in the chat. Aye aye aye. Alright, here we go. We are going to be settling in. We're going to be settling into our game. Just because Ryung went for mech in game 1 does not mean that's all he can do. I mean, Ryung does like to embrace mech whenever he can, but can always bring out and whip out the bio play as well. So we'll keep an eye on Ryung. Meanwhile, we are going to be diverting our openers here. It's going to be double gas out of Ryung. We do have a Rax Expand from ByuN. What I mean by that is our red Terran player is going for a more economic opener. Our blue Terran player is going for a more aggressive opener instead. Or aggressive / safe, depending on how you want to look at it. As Ryung will have a faster factory, ByuN will have a faster command center. We'll see if ByuN does go for the CC on the low ground. This SCV scout will confirm. Bearing in mind as well that ByuN is not going for an SCV scout of his own. He's playing blind, playing in the dark. At least until his Reaper comes out. SCV dips in. Ryung going to try and delay the command center, but he won't be able to, but he will scout it and will confirm. Is now aware that ByuN will have the economic lead early on. Well, the slight lead. This also tells Ryung that he's safe and sound, that there's no, like, this time there's no proxy racks, there's no early game aggression. He can get into his own game. Factories are on the way. And from here, Ryung should be going for his own expansion on the low ground. One base all-ins are very rare. I mean, their proxies aren't so rare in TBT, but committing into one base all-in is not really seen too often here. So we should be expanding. There's that CC. Now from here, Ryung is going to have faster, I was going to say Cyclone production, but he will go for the Hellion instead. Going Hellion Reaper. ByuN settling into his 1-1-1. From the side of our red Terran, we kind of expect more of the same. Like, ByuN is very much so a biotank player. He plays mech from time to time, but that's usually against Zerg. I don't know if I've seen ByuN play... yeah, I don't think I've seen ByuN play mech against Terran. Maybe once or twice? I know we've seen Maru do it, but... I mean, Maru did it in Stars War 11. He did play mech against Gumiho. But ByuN doesn't typically embrace that. Not typically. I say that tentatively because I know that usually if Maru's doing something, ByuN is doing it as well. That's like they usually go hand in hand, like they're really good friends. But for now, we're settling in. To see ByuN moving out with his initial drop. Going for his Marine Cyclone drop on the right hand side. Meanwhile, Ryung, interesting, opening up Liberator, not Medevac. I mean, Medevac first into Lib. So our drops are moving out. We will walk past each other here. Things are about to get chaotic as ByuN is going to hit first. Uh-oh. And does Ryung turn around or does he commit? He's turning back around. And SCVs will fall. We catch a mule. Get a worker. Ryung still racing back home. How much more will he lose? So far, not too much. Leading out a couple of SCVs. But he will defend. This could have been a lot worse. Just a really unfortunate timing there for Ryung as both armies pass by each other at the same time. And Medevac's still alive here behind the natural. And will escape. So we're settling into our tank production. Now I believe Ryung is skipping his Raven. He's just going straight into Vikings instead. Curious. We'll see if he throws down a second starport. Now just Viking tank. ByuN instead embracing the Raven, going for the disables, researching interference matrix. Liberator does arrive, and we're going to get a couple of SCVs. Not bad. 2 SCVs go down, pulling back. Ryung is still just pumping out nothing but Viking tank, by the way. He's going to keep pushing. Yeah, Ryung, he's committed. He is committed with this. Sending everything across the map. And he could even potentially cancel this third base. It's very close to the edge. But now focusing on the main push. Focusing on the ramp, getting within range of the starport. Liberated Siege and starport going to be going down. Here come the Ravens. We get the disable. A big disable on the tank. And is it going to be enough? Can we break through? The Marines, they push forward. The tank does siege on the high ground. But what about that low ground? As it looks like the tank is going to fall. And Ryung, he barely does clean this up. But here come the reinforcements. Yeah, ByuN with that defender's advantage. He will hold. Ryung is down to a single tank and a single cyclone. It shouldn't be enough. I say that we do get a couple of SCVs. It's still so close. But the production, or the reinforcements for the production is just, it arrives so quickly here for ByuN. He pulls the boys, gets on top of the tanks. They will bring one down. The Vikings land. Oh, the pickup. The Viking barely does land. SCVs are going down. The repairs, they're clutch, and they are enough to hold on. Whew. But again, that's a lot of lost mine time. And Ryung, he's still rallying across the map. He's getting a third CC on location, but still just rallying pure tank Viking. His army is barely standing. Gets eyes on the third CC, but it's already in orbital. Should survive. I say that, I mean, with this Viking lead, ByuN can't really engage. Are we going for Stim? We're gonna get it. Stim does go down. ByuN picks up a couple of those Vikings. Down to 3. ByuN still reinforcing. We have another factory on the way, so it's gonna be mech. At the same time, ByuN throwing down 2 more starports. Getting into triple starport production. Ryung, he's doing enough damage. He delays the third. He denies upgrades. I mean, denying Stim, of course. And Ryung, he's freely mining from his own third back at home. As long as he doesn't bleed out too many tanks, Ryung should be okay. Should be. So remember, ByuN, he's amassing up quite a Viking army. Ryung has to respect it. He's pushing in. Oh. 5 to 5. And even Viking out Ryung, he bleeds out one. And another. Just like that, ByuN takes the Viking lead. And now he can expand. He can take his third base, shuts down another tank. And Ryung did overextend. And now Ryung is in a bit of trouble here. We trigger a counterattack. ByuN is moving out with everything he has. Ryung back at home. He's in a bit of trouble. How much do we have to defend? No shuttle. We down to one tank. Uh-oh. We have 2 more on the way. They're barely coming out. Again, the pendulum quickly swinging from one player to the other. Yeah, landing his Vikings, breaks through the tank line, getting into the main base, getting into the natural, and there's nothing to stop him. There's one tank on the high ground, and we're going to focus it down. The boys are being pulled into Vikings. Ryung, he just doesn't have enough. Things very quickly escalate out of control. And ByuN, he's going to be taking this. He's going to be looking to take a lead in this series. GG gets called, and ByuN will take it 2-0. A very strong start for Shopify Rebellion. GG, well played. Ryung, such an aggressive build. 2019, 2010, 2020-ish era for Rogue. Scarlett and ByuN all cheese him out. Good times. But spawning in the bottom of the corner, we have Solar for Team Vitality. And in the top left, we have Scarlett for Shopify Rebellion. Oh my god, are we... Is the house on an angle? Are we good? Is the Shopify HQ toppling over? What's happening? We're crazy? Clearly, it's the room that's at an angle, not the webcam. Clearly. Aye. ByuN, he popped off too hard. Calm down. She's tilted. Oh, true. Oh, no. She's tilted. Not like this. But here we go. We're settling into our ZVZ. It's going to be Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener so far between Solar and Scarlett. There's no 12-11s, no 13-12s, no early gases or early pools, not yet. Dude, so hard, the building nearly toppled over. Oh my god. It's okay. You know, there are some people that need like a certain elevation of their chair. Some people need their like keyboard like a certain distance from the edge of the desk. Some people need the building tilted a little bit, you know, for the ideal. It's fine. We like it. As our mirror matchups continue here. Again, ZVZ is quite different compared to TVT. I mean, I say different. There's a lot of aggressive potential available to our players, but we're loading into Amphion, which is a very defendable map. Amphion is an interesting choice here. I mean, neither player had a choice when it came to this map, but you can take a very secure third base. The third can be quite secure at the triangular location because of the high ground, because of the rocks you have to knock down to gain access to that area. Same with the minerals as well. So this is not a bad map to open up 2-base Roach, to be honest. 2-base Roach typically is done on a map where you can defend your natural a little bit easier. There's a ramp coming into the natural, and with a more secure third base, I'm leaning towards that here, but we'll see. We'll see if either player decides to skip some of their upgrades and tech into that. As I say that, Scarlett has not begun Link Speed. So this is the kind of thing that we're keeping an eye on. Solar, he's working towards Link Speed, getting to a standard game. Scarlett, upon skipping Link Speed and going for a second gas, this looks like 2-base Roach. So we should be walling off at the natural and taking up towards Roach Tech. Ooh, as we actually prioritize the lair, this is interesting. So we're revealing 2-base Roach. We have the Roach Horn, we have the Evo Chamber, we're fully walling off. This could be faking out 2-base Roach and hiding a Spire. This could be 2-base Muta. We have options. We'll see how high the gas count goes. We'll see if we rush into the 3rd and 4th gas. 2-base Muta is viable here on Amphion because of the features that we mentioned. But Lingzay slip in. Up. Lingzay do slip into the natural, into the main base as well. Queens not quite going to stop the scouts, and we get eyes on the fast lair. Big moment here for Solar. Does confirm the lair timing. He's checking for the Spire. Lair isn't done yet, but now Solar knows to be that much more vigilant when it comes to scouting for a Spire once the lair is done. Scarlett might be tempted to deviate, and we're going for a Nidus. Okay, we're going for a Nidus all-in instead. No additional gases. This is another option, of course, with the fast lair. Solar still has to piece this together. Solar, you can see he also skipped his Bailey nest, going into roaches. Oh, but Solar's droning. Solar doesn't know how much danger he's in right now. As for the time being, he's droning. He's getting a second gas geyser, working towards +1 range. Okay, we do have a safety amount of roaches on the way. We have 5 roaches in production for Solar. Well, Scarlett going all in. And we're going for the Knights into the main. Scarlett, Solar sees. Solar does confirm, does react. The boys are being pulled. Queens are on the way. Roaches are rallying in. It looks like the Nidus is going to finish, though. It's going to finish up just in time. And can we transfuse? Oh, we don't even need the transfuse. And Solar, he's in trouble. A little bit too greedy. Droned up too much. The boys, they have to be pulled. Yeah, roaches, they pop out just in time. Solar, can he hold on? Bearing in mind, Solar, he can afford to lose some workers. He can lose some drones. And we're running out of transfuse. Queens are going down for both players. And Solar, can he barely hold on? It looks like he can. With the reinforcements, we clean up the roaches. We clean up the queens. Solar will force this back. I say that, but here come another wave of reinforcements. Roaches, they come back in. Yeah, Solar's in trouble. Solar's in a lot of trouble. It looks like maybe Scarlett has too much. Yeah, we have control of the main base once again. We have the high ground as well. Boys have to be pulled for a second time. But we barely have any roaches left over here for Solar. We're down to 3 roaches. Still maintain that 3. 2 more drones go down. Clutch transfuse. Scarlett is barely being forced back against such a close fight here for both players. Now, Scarlett does have a worker lead. Solar, he was forced to cancel +1 range. So the upgrade was canceled. Oh, and can we barely hold on? Queen comes in to reinforce. Ah! The roach on roach. It's still so close here. We're down to 2 roaches. Okay, Solar, he's held. Solar, he will force this back. Finally does hold on. Finally will force back the army. Oh, Scarlett coming out here. Not too sure about this commitment. Bleeding out more roaches. Uh-oh. I don't think that was intentional. Scarlett does bleed out initial roaches. Another Nidus Swarm here between the bases is going to be shut down. And back at him, Scarlett is droning. Scarlett, she recognizes that Solar has held, and now we're droning up. And now the game is going to calm down. So, after an intense all-in, both players, oh, I should say both players, we do see Solar ahead of base. Solar has a lair. We have, of course, roach speed on the way. +1 is now starting up here for Scarlett. We're calming things down. With that base advantage, Solar, I would say, has an edge, has a slight lead. Does have a lead here. And I'm curious where Scarlett takes us. Whether we go for another all-in and cut drone production, or whether we try to stabilize and get into a longer game. Scarlett desperately trying to retake that third, or take another third. Is expanding. Upgrades on the way. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I assumed that Solar had canceled +1 range, but no, +1 range did finish, so my bad on that one. Did finish, and now we have a massive upgrade advantage. Oh my god. +2 range now on the way for Solar. And that's going to be a pretty big timing. Like, Solar, all he has to do is drone up, saturate his third, and hit that timing, as we're already moving out with our roaches, a bit premature. But we are pushing, threading the third. The goal here is to force out an army from Scarlett. Oh, Scarlett getting caught out in the open. Roaches are going down. Scarlett, she was in the middle of droning. She does not have an army right now. She was not ready for this. GG gets called. We don't even have to think and talk about +2 as Solar. Able to fight back, able to survive, and take game number 1. Team Vitality, fight back. Whew. GG, well played. Unfortunately, it looks like Scarlett did not have an Overlord. We are settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have Solar for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have Scarlett for Shopify Rebellion. Still tilted. Is that a cat behind the desk? Maybe, maybe. But oh my god, Scarlett, by the way, going for a 13-12. My apologies, I was looking at the chat, but Scarlett, this is going to be a short series here. It's all or nothing. We're going for a gas pool opener. With this, we're going to be rushing into link speed. We can throw down the Baneliness behind this as well. Scarlett is going to be going all in. Is committed. Solar back at home going for a hatch gas pool standard opener out of our blue Zerg player. Very aggressive out of our red. Here we go. Bet for the game, bet for the series. So predictions have already closed. They were open for the entire series earlier for the best of 2. Link speed has begun. We're staying in gas. We're staying in gas so we can afford that Baneling nest as well. So again, it's going to be a link flood with Banelings alongside it. And we'll see how Solo does respond. How quickly he can react. There's that Baneling nest that we spoke about. Scott is moving out. Now, when it comes to Solar, he needs to recognize whether this is a 12 pool or a 13-12. Like, different timings force different reactions. So far, Scarlett does avoid the initial Overlord Scout, but will be revealed in the center of the map. Solar's now aware. Does spot the Lings, and will spot the follow-up Lings as well. Oh, Spine Crawler going to be on the way on the high ground. Good reaction so far to Solar. For those that are curious, it is risky to pull the boys. Against a 13-12, because you're all in, you typically do not. But Solar are going to try and fight for control of the low ground. The boys are being pulled. Banelings are on the way. Risky move here. We'll see if Solar can minimize his losses. Scarlett pulls back. Banelings are about to finish up. Link speed 5 seconds away. Yeah, and Solar has to pull back. Oh, the Banelings, they go in! Get one decent connection. We have one more left. Yeah, the Lings, they are going down. They're being shut down by the Lings of Scarlett. The Spine Crawler is done. Spine Crawler should be done on the high ground. We collapse on top of the Queen as well. Second Queen on the way. I'm still not even certain if Solo can hold this here. Baneling goes off. Can the Spine Crawler go down? It looks like it will. And the Spine Crawler falls. We're collapsing on top of the Queen. Scarlett barely pulling back. Another Baneling on the way. Still a very close defense here. As Solar is down a Queen and down a Spine. God, he's crazy. Solar pulling down to the low ground. We're down to one Baneling. Yeah, we get this round of the Queen. The Queen is going to go down. And the Lings with this Baneling, we cannot engage. We have one Baneling left. Zoning Solar away. Oh, I say that. Here comes another Queen just in time. Solar's holding. Solar holds. Gets the Baneling. And just like that, Solar, he's up a base. He's up drones. Very impressive defense here. Again, it's so difficult to actually hold on to that hatchery. Solar did do it while maintaining that drone lead. And now Scarlett's in a rough position. Now, thankfully, Scarlett did expand. Did throw down a hatchery. But Scarlett has a lot of catching up to do. And Solar has rebuilt his Spine Crawler. We have a second Spine Crawler on the way, just in case. Solar doesn't have any Banelings to work with, but is still threatening the bases of Scarlett, keeping her busy back at home. Baneling comes in! Oh my god. No connection yet. Solar has to calm down, pulling back. Does have to retreat. Yeah, as long as Solar can get back to those Queens, it should be safe and sound. Not a bad connection with the Baneling, getting 4 Lings. But was hoping for more. Scarlett does maintain map control. Throughout all of this, behind this, both players have been droning. Scarlett still trying to catch up. Evo Chambers on the way. Roach Warren as well. Upon seeing this setup, Scarlett has the option to go for a faster third to try to take an economic lead. Meanwhile, Solar is just fortifying himself on 2 bases. Yeah, there's that third on the way. So again, Scarlett has map control, so she will have a higher base count. Should eventually work towards roaches as well. And Scarlett also needs to recognize whether or not Solar is going for an all-in on 2 bases or not. Solar will have that option available. Now we're droning, we're calming things down. Lair is on the way for Solar, additional gases, +1 range. And Solar, he can hit a pretty strong +1 range timing here with roach speed. With that faster lair. I believe Scarlett is still on hatch tech. Still on hatch tech here. Droning, taking more gases. We're calming things down. Lings is still being active, and it looks like we can delay the third. We do dive on it. Go for us to cancel. Not bad. Do force a cancel on the hatchery. Scarlett still droning. This is what I was worried about. Solar hasn't made a drone in quite some time. He's shooing away those overlords. Droller cutting workers at 41. It's a 2-base all-in. The 3rd base of Solar is just for show. Solar is going for the all-in. Overlords are spreading creep. And we're going to be pushing. Now, Scarlett does recognize that something is wrong. It's throwing down the spine crawler. Scarlett, she's up to 55 drones. And I do think that Scarlett has over-droned here. It is a dynamic in ZVZ. You have to be careful with how you spend your larva, how you spend your resources. Has a good drone count, but is lacking an army. And Solar is committed. Just waiting a little bit longer for these upgrades to kick in. Now, at least Scarlett has identified what's going on, so we're at least not droning up any further. We're cutting workers at 55, and we're hoping that we can get away with it. Amassing roaches, queens, the spine crawlers are going to be quite key here in the defense. And it's going to be all or nothing. Either Solar breaks Scarlett or dies trying. Here we go. We are pushing. +1 range is done. Roach speed is now done for Solar. And even the queens are waddling in. And Solar up 20 army supply, almost 30 army supply. There's no transfuse. Spine Crawler pushing forward, and you can see just the overwhelming Roach army here in favor of Solar. Yeah, it's just a numbers game here at this point. We have transfuse as well to support. The Spine Crawler is helping quite a bit, but it's still not enough. GG gets called. Solar does overwhelm, and Solar will take the series 2-0, tying things up 2-2. GG. GG, well played. Okay, it's been quite back and forth so far. ByuN started things off with his 2-0 lead for Shopify. Solar ties things up with his 2-0, and now it all comes down to Maru versus Harstem. If either player takes a 2-0, that's going to be the end of the series in favor of their respective teams. If this goes 1-1, then we force the ace match. Oh boy. Maru is coming in hot off a win at Stars War 11. For those that maybe weren't aware, Maru, alongside many others, did travel to China. They competed in a big offline event last weekend. That's why there was no World Team League. We were of course casting it live, and Maru was our champion. It was a best-of-9 finals versus Hero in the grand finals. Went all the way to the ace match. It was a beautiful series. I recommend watching the VODs between Maru and Hero in that best-of-9. Went all the way to game 9 of all outcomes. It was crazy. We rarely get a best-of-9 going to the ace match, and Maru was our champion. Right now, he is looking to be the best Terran in the world, but it's Harstem. And you know what year it is? It's the year of Harstem, Papi. It's always the year of Harstem. Unironically, Harstem was looking very impressive in the EPT regionals. It was EPT Spring for Europe, where Harstem, he popped off. Doing better than I really expected him to. Hold on, let me just quickly double check here. I believe Harstem took down Showtime. Let me just double check before I start listing off players that I'm not entirely certain of. Harstem, he took down Wayne. Yeah, he took down Showtime. He took down Skilless. went back and forth against Big Gabe, but yeah, Harstem did very well for himself. He was able to actually surpass Skillus and Showtime in ABT Spring, even though I would consider them, you know, a little bit higher ranked than Harstem. So really showing us that even the first puts you ahead if you hold, it does put you ahead. Oh. Here we go, we dive into that first game, and spawning in the top left hand corner of side Delta, we have Maru for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have Harstem for Shopify Rebellion. Harstem not tilted, I believe. I think maybe it's on a slight angle. I think we're good. Cool, calm, and collected. Let's go. I think that's a heater in the background. And Lambo coaching. I believe Lambo is there with him as well. May not be competing here tonight, but I'm sure is taking a more coach role. Giving some input to the players. In between games, I mean, obviously. In between games. Ooh, but here we go, Maru opening up double gas, so it's going to be a bit of a more aggressive opener from Maru. I'm a little bit surprised. On a map like Side Delta, we've seen quite a lot of more economic builds instead, as it is a safer map to open up with a Rax Expand. With a double gas, should be a faster factory. I mean, I say more aggressive, more safer as well. As Harstem is going for the gate expand. Okay, a bit of a greedier opener out of Harstem. Delaying his Cyber Core, going for the faster Nexus. We'll have the slightly better economy. Nothing too major other than that. Can Lambo say anything to Harstem during the game? No. That's not going to happen. You have that factory behind this for Maru. As our first Reaper is being sent out, our goal here is to get eyes on the initial tech from Harstem. Again, talking about Side Delta a little bit, the natural base is actually quite defendable. There's a ramp coming into the natural, which is a bit of a unique feature in the new map pool. Very few maps actually have that. Maps like Side Delta, Amphion, Post Youth as well, that allow you to be a little bit greedier, which is what led to the opener of Harstem. Reaper rocks up, and we can see that it's going to be a Twilight Council in the main base, hidden a little bit further back. Maru has yet to scout. Right now, dancing with the Adept. And he's going for the dive. Shot goes off, and we get a full scout. Twilight Council has been spotted, and Maru is aware of the blink. And can we get a probe? We can! Ooh, one probe goes down. It was a bit of a misstep there. Harstem unable to save his worker. So very nice trades out of Maru. Getting some economic damage done. Scouting the tech. And preparing back at home for his mine drop. Now, mine drops and committed mine drops have fallen off quite a lot in the new patch just because of the nerf to the Widow Mine, so we very rarely see very committed Widow Mine drop openers here in TVP, but Maru has been mixing it in. I say Maru, a lot of the Terran players, they mixed it in like maybe once a series. Still less common compared to what it once was. But we're getting ready for what looks to be a Widow Mine Marine drop from the side of Maru. As Marines are amassing. Widow Mines is on the way. We saw a similar setup earlier today with Clem. In Clem's series versus Christiana. Oh, as we're getting into early tank production as well. I mean, we're aware of the blink, so early tanks do make sense. As we still don't know if it's going to be 4-gate blink, or at least Maru doesn't know if it's going to be 4-gate blink or not. So playing it out safely. Getting into those tanks. That's the other kind of big moment we're looking for from the side of Harstem, is whether we commit into additional gateways. For now, it's just 2-gate blink. Looking to be into a third Nexus. No additional gateways yet. As we're moving out with that mine drop, we actually keep the Marines back at home. We're only going for the singular Widow Mine. And the goal with this drop is not just to get economic damage done, it's mainly for scouting. You can see the medevac rotate around, confirming no additional gateways. And we get one probe in the natural. Again, just Maru just trying to confirm how many gateways there are. As he does move out. Honestly, there's a lot of potential with this push. It's only 2-gate blink. Like, Harstem is building up for a Nexus. And as Harstem tries to expand, Maru's going to be there to shut it down. Oh. At the same time, Harstem pushing to the center of the map. The armies are passing by each other. There's that third base from Harstem. Maru's main army, soon to collapse in. We do have a tank back at home. Harstem looking to dive into the main. As Maru's looking for the third base. Does miss it, but goes for the natural instead. Okay, let's go. A bit of a base trade. We push into the natural base. Pylon goes down. We depower the gateway and the robo. At the same time, Stalkers bust into the main base. SCVs are being pulled. Very little to defend. Boys are going down. We get 8 SCVs in the main base. With these tanks, we should clean this up. But how many workers do we lose before that happens? How much damage can we get done? 9, 10 SCVs go down. At the same time, Maru has not pushed into the main, but we get the natural. Oh, that's huge. The Nexus has fallen. We're losing a lot of SCVs, but Maru, he can always replace them. He can always just rebuild. So that is a kill at the natural. We clean up all the Stalkers. And now Maru, he's going for the third. He's killed one base, and now we're going for the other. And can Harstem save it? I'm not so sure he can. Again, he has to. Boys are being pulled. It's going to be a desperate attempt here for Harstem to hold on. Here we go for the dive. The tank is barely going to go down, but we bleed out so many Stalkers. The stutter stepping is too good. Probes are going down. Oh my god. 11, 12. 12 workers. We're down to 1 Stalker. And GG gets called. It's just too much, and Maru will take game number 1. Whew. GG. A very chaotic game. A very chaotic game there with the armies. They did pass by each other and damage was being done. Unfortunately, Maru had that much more firepower with his tanks. Also, the killer instinct of Maru to avoid the third base and to go straight for the natural instead was able to just do critical damage, as opposed to Harstem, who killed SCVs but only workers, as opposed to Maru, who camping the production, got a Nexus, and did end the game. GG, well played. Maru takes the lead. Maru needs one more to close it out and to win it all for his team. The pressure is now on Harstem, but what I will say, it is Harstem's map of choice. I spoke earlier about how Shopify, they do kind of, they've spoken a lot about how they put a lot of preparation here into WTL, and I'm sure Harstem has been playing into a third from Harstem, and then he was able to commit to the push, right? And that's why it led to so much success. But here we go, we have Maru in the top left for Team Vitality, and in the bottom right, we have Harstem for Shopify Rebellion. But I think the move out was in response to what he scouted, because essentially he had not seen enough to maybe even convince him that it was a more gateway heavy composition. That's my assumption though. For now, gonna be settling in. Be settling into game number 2. Golden Ore is gonna be an interesting one. The natural's a bit more exposed in the sense that there's no ramp leading into it, but the third base is quite fortifiable. The third base, the linear third, I should emphasize, on this map is quite close to the natural. There's a very narrow ramp coming into it as well, so it can be easier to defend. Curious what our plan is going to be, as Maru is opening up double gas. Double gas once again from our blue Terran player. Harstem once again going for the gate expand. You have that Nexus on the low ground. So the same opener here from our 2 players as game 1. So far everything is looking the same. I'm curious if Harstem commits into another Twilight Council opener on this map. If he does, I'm curious if we throw down more gateways. A 3rd or even 4th gate. Let's see. Or if Harstem wants to settle into a more macro game instead. Meanwhile, back at home, Maru going for the double gas opener means we have the faster factory. Reaper's on the way. Factory behind it. And once again, the goal of this Reaper is to scout the initial tank, whether it's a Twilight Council, a Robo, or a Stargate. All 3 are viable. All three are for different playstyles, and Maru needs to piece it together. As it is going to be another Twilight Council opener. Okay. Maru going to be tipping in. Trying to drag the Adept down to the low ground. The dance has begun. Oh! Maru attempting to outposition is going to be zoned away. Good movement here from Harstem. So far, the scout is denied. As I say that, the Reaper goes up the cliff and is going to get eyes on the tech of choice. Oh, and Maru will escape. Oh! Spoke too soon as the Shade is coming in and the Reaper does go down. Harstem, this time not losing a single probe. So much cleaner defense here from Harstem. We still get the scout off, but our economy is that much more secure. Blink is on the way, second gateway as well. And interesting, this time Maru makes additional Widow Mines. We have a second Widow Mine on the way. So a bit of a more committed mine drop here out of Maru. We'll see what he can get done. Harstem stabilizing on 2 bases. The Robo on the way. And it looks like once again Harstem is just going for a 2-gate Blink opener into a 3rd. As we have yet to commit to any additional production or tech. Maru coming in with a mine drop. Stalkers are warping in. Oh, Maru, as he's going into Cloak, Banshee's behind this as well. That's that mine drop. And Harstem does react in time. I say that we do pull away. Oh my god. One Stalker will fall. And we shouldn't get too much more done here, as we're denying a lot of mining time here at the main base. As we unburrow again, finally the Widow Mine goes down. Harstem does regain control and should be expanding. Again, Maru, he also scouted behind the natural, so he's fully aware that there's no additional gateways. And Maru is building up for a 2-base push. If you remember, we saw this with Clem versus Cristiano as well. Banshee play is very trendy nowadays in TVP, going tank Banshee. There is an observer on the way, thankfully. There is going to be detection. These Banshees have a lot of potential. They can get a lot done. Stalkers are out on the map. Banshee slips into the main. The observer not quite in position. Probes are going to be falling. How many workers can we get down here? It's going to be 3, 4, 5. Oh, not quite a 5th probe. 4 for now. And now we're moving out with our main force. We have 2 tanks. We have 2 Banshees. A good amount of bio. And this army is designed to break that 3rd that Harstem's trying to get up and running. And Harstem is hyper-fixated here, defending back at home, so he doesn't slow down the main army. Uh-oh. He doesn't slow it down. We have no shield batteries at the 3rd base either. I don't think we can hold on to it. As the army is revealed, the tanks are sieging. And sure, we have Blink, but we cannot touch this army. And yeah, we're going to force a cancel on the 3rd. Big pickoff here from Maru. And that's all he was looking for. He's going to keep pushing. Oh my god. I mean, no reason to stop. Getting within range of the gateways. Gateway's going to be going down. Bunker being thrown down behind this as well to maintain this position. Overcharge is popped, and can Harstem go for the dive? Oh, that's a lot of tank shots going off of the army. We blink on the tanks. The first tank going to be going down, but we lose so many Stalkers. Yeah, with 3 tanks, it's just too much. Maru snowballing out of control. He's breaking this natural. He already killed the 3rd, and he's looking for more. He's looking for even more damage here. So many Stalkers go down. That pylon, it depowers the Robo. The Immortal is denied. And the Banshees are still standing strong here, going for a kill on the Robo. And Maru, he's not being stopped. Without an Immortal, it's going to be so difficult to break this tank line. And now we're within range of the Nexus. You can see Harstem trying to sneak out the triangular 3rd, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Maru, he wants the natural. Oh god, these stalkers are so low. GG gets called. There's no breaking out of this, and Maru will take the series 2-0. Team Vitality win it 4-2. GG. GG. We're done. For now, we are going to be wrapping up. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. Great time of StarCraft. Our next broadcast should be tomorrow with day 3 of WTL. We're also going to be casting the Logic games. Let me just quickly double check. Oh wait, no, it's today. No. My apologies. So our next broadcast is in 1 hour. We're going to be coming back here in 1 hour's time. We're going to be casting the Logic games. If you're curious, what the hell is the Logic games? It is an event sponsored by someone called Logic. It is an OSC event, and let me just quickly check the bracket here. One moment. Oh my god, that's a lot of players. We can have a look at the bracket together. Let's quickly set this up. That was the House Open Cup. Here you go. So the Logic Games is an open tournament, and you can see the bracket here before you. There's players like Cristiano, there's Cuckoo, there's Hydra, there's Nicaract as well, Shameless, Papa Panda, oh, the Taiwanese Zerg player. We have Geralt, we have Mindle VK, For Jumi, GG Machine, and many others. I think I see Exo Striker there as well. So it is a massive open bracket, a lot of money on the line. It's a 200 USD prize pool. So if you're curious, if you're interested in some more StarCraft, it is mainly European centric, as it is a more friendly European time zone. I guess American time zone as well. So we do have another cast in 1 hour's time. So I'm going to be quickly going to get some food. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back for another cast. That's how we do here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're live every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. After the Logic Games in an hour, we're going to be casting World Team League tomorrow, and we're going to be following that with ESL Open Cup Asia as well. Also, I almost forgot, Sparkling Tuna Cup is tomorrow as well. We have a lot of casting to do. We have a lot of casting to do here. 3 more events here for the weekend before we enter ESL Asia. Again, this weekend is jam-packed also because next weekend is DreamHack Dallas. You know, you may be curious as to why were the Shopify Rebellion players at the Shopify HQ? Well, they're all traveling and they're all preparing for DreamHack Dallas, which is starting up on the 31st of this month. The 31st of March, in less than a week. So if you happen to be local, if you happen to be in the area, then do consider going to DreamHack. It's going to be a great time, I'm sure. A big celebration of StarCraft. Everyone coming together, everyone partying and celebrating StarCraft together. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event. So consider checking it out if you happen to be, you know, local, if you happen to be in the area. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. A big shout out to Holy Lime in the chat. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 16 months. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Big shout outs. Thank you so much. And oh my god, a big shout out to Showtime as well. We just ended the stream, Papi. We just ended our stream, but thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate it. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. I do apologize that the stream is ending now, but yeah, thank you so much. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. Thank you so much. Danke, Papi. Danke. Meanwhile, we're going to be giving another streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send everyone over to. So give them a chance, give them some support. Again, we're going to be back in an hour. Otherwise, see you next time. See you next time, Papi. Ciao. Papi, ciao. See you next time.